Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dun-dun-dun. Hey, it's a happening. It is 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night, I hope. Otherwise, I've seriously mucked up the timing. No, it is 7 o'clock Tuesday night. Nice to be here with you doing another little live chat AMA session. For those that stopped in last week, hiding in the wings of the YouTube channel, unlisted is the Singdaptive video. So just waiting on confirmation that I haven't included anything I shouldn't, because I've filmed some sneaky behind the scenes bits and pieces, but just waiting on confirmation for that, and then that'll be live on the channel. But also yeah, it's interesting. A lot of these AMA sessions, I title or I give a theme based on what pops into mind, and I genuinely just go with what feels like it might be a good flavour to chat on. So this week's one is on what do you love? What got you started? Curious, what got you started in playing guitar, in looping, in singing, playing piano, whatever it is you might do, violin, bouzouki, pop phone. Hi, how's it going? Yeah, and I've been thinking on this because I've seen myself do it, go through getting a lot of requests or peer pressure to do a certain thing, not wanting to say no, especially when someone appreciates what you do. But they appreciate what you do, but they're also pushing you further away from the part that you enjoy. I've found that personally quite a challenge to say no to. And it's been good as I've gotten better at that, and been like, oh, what would feel good for me? Does this feel good for me to go and do this show, rather than just someone's excited, oh my gosh. Every now and then you get a let's say intuition, an internal nudge that says and one I've had as a great example that I might use is, I did a show for this company the year before. It was great. I had a really good time and paid well, all nicely set up. It was really good. And I just got an email saying, we'd love to have you back. Same kind of setup as last year. The theme's different, but otherwise same story. So interestingly, got that weird intuition to just be like, I think it's a no. Pop phone, I found you when I bought the L8 recorder, and your instructions were super great. Awesome. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a very, very handy, very useful desk. Mine is hiding just off to the side. If you've got any questions, by the way, if you've just jumped on, every Tuesday I'm online live, so it's a chance that we can kind of chat back and forth. If you've got any specific questions, you can send me a message, and then I can actually respond in real time. I know I miss some of the comments on the channel. I'm usually alright. Some of them I just miss. Some of them they disappear too fast before you solve them before I get a chance to reply sometimes too. So if you're ever around on a Tuesday, feel free to drop in. Anyway, I got this request and my intuition just said no. And normally, so I turned it down. I said, look, sorry. I think I told them in fact I did. I had another gig booked that I could have easily switched to do this one. It was a regular little gig for me. But I said, sorry, I've got a booking, and I connected them with a friend. Now, normally, if you turn down a gig, you don't really hear what happened down the track. Anyway, it was a friend of mine, another really good artist, that ended up doing the show. And it's funny, he was like, man, that was the worst gig I've done in ages. Like, and it, he got paid well, but there were just so many issues with the setup. They wanted a whole lot of requests and him to learn songs. Just the sound on the day was really, really bad. There's just a lot of things that, again, no way of predicting that might have happened, but something was like, no. And I've realized recently as well, some of you that follow me on Twitch now doing some streaming, last week I had a bit of a roller coaster week personally, a lot of emotion, and what I tend to do is I will go and sit somewhere. In fact, I took a can of V, because I think it's pretty safe to say I'm addicted to caffeine or coffee or energy drinks. Went and sat by the ocean and just played some acoustic guitar. Didn't sing, just wanted to sit there and express, let out a bunch of stuff through guitar. And I realized recently there's a lot of things I'm interested in. So, and I've neglected some of the folksy acoustic guitar sort of stuff. So, it's just a case of going back and prioritizing that with a bit of time for me. I'm curious to hear what other people's thoughts are, to be honest. But for me personally, it's very much a case of figuring out what those things are, and just you don't have to change everything at once. So if you want to, let's say, here's a good example. If you've gotten to a point where you're doing a whole lot of party shows because you're looping, everyone wants to do dance shows, but the thing is, you really it's good in my example, I enjoy both, but you really enjoy just acoustic fingerstyle guitar, that probably needs some expression from you. So it's a case of going, cool, how does that pan out? How can I have some expression on that side of things? I can still do the party shows, I can still do the looping, but I'm just aware I need to focus some time every day on basically how I got started, what I really enjoyed starting out, which was guitar playing. Anyway, we'll chat a bit about it. Pop phone, what is the noise that I hear when I turn the gain up? Depending on what you have plugged in, the noise will be whatever's on that channel. So if you turn the gain up and you have a microphone, that everything has some noise to it. We're talking about the L8 desk, if you're wondering. I switched with the chat there, but the Zoom L8 desk, basically everything has some level of noise to it. So if you plug in a microphone, the microphone has its own noise. You can potentially pick up noise depending on environmental factors and how long your cable is. That will then go into the desk. The desk itself has some noise. All of these things. So when you turn up the gain, yes, you're increasing the signal of your guitar or your microphone, but you're also increasing the noise of all of those components on the channel. And if you're listening back on headphones, your headphones will have some level of noise running them. The same story with speakers, all that sort of stuff. So there's an interesting balance to getting a nice gain level, a good level on the fader, and also a good level with your master output as well, to reduce the amount of noise at each level. But hopefully that helps. Himawari kaori? Himawari kaori? I am Japanese. I don't understand much English, but I listen to you live. I don't know how I got here. Well, I like playing the guitar. I started 2 years ago. I'm practicing Sting now. Cool. Genki desu ka? Hajimemashite. Nice to meet you, and welcome along to this live stream in English. I speak a little bit of Japanese, and I was fortunate to play in Tokyo a few years back. Three years ago. Far out. 2.5. But thanks for tuning in. I'm here every Tuesday. I can't remember what Tuesday is in Japanese. Done. Anyway, for those of you that are online, feel free to, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Also curious, we might use this during the stream, but what do you love most about music? Is there a particular aspect like that you naturally find? For me, it's playing guitar. I will I'm quite happy playing guitar. If I've got a loop pedal, awesome. If not, that's fine. But that will be my go-to. And I'm probably most frustrated if I can't sing. So, interesting combination. But King, what's a good way to practice looping to get good at building songs? Kind of like how Ed Sheeran does it. King, there's so many things you could practice. There really is. Where do we start? There's one of the things I think you should practice is your rhythm. Do some rhythm training aside from the guitar. If you watch what Ed Sheeran does, then each song is a little bit different, but he's excellent. Everything that I've seen, he's been doing some practice, but he locks really nicely in with his timing on that first loop, whatever it is, whether it's something strummed, whether it's something picked, that's really nicely locked in time. And that's going to be, whatever your first loop is going to be crucial for the rest of your loops, because if that's slightly out, it makes everything slightly out, basically. And you're having this push-pull battle with a certain part of your loop. So what's a good way to practice looping to get good at building songs? I would suggest, from your question, that you go on YouTube, you learn an Ed Sheeran song. You can exactly how he does it. So if you want to learn to build songs like Ed Sheeran, the best person to learn from is Ed Sheeran. And the best is, you can go on YouTube, you can find a video, a clip of him, and you can watch it. You can watch it on repeat. Okay, the first loop, he plays this. Awesome. I want to get that down. Learn it. See, what does he add into the loop as the second loop? Okay, how do I use my gear, the gear that I've got, to add in now my voice, for example? Okay, I can do that. Great. The third loop, he's already overdubbing. That's interesting. He's building the same thing. He just leaves it overdubbing, puts in another part, puts in a harmony part. So, King, I would practice and learn something that you really want from Ed Sheeran, and copy it. Watch that video over and over and over and over, and practice, and then pause the video, try and do that on your own gear, and see if you get the same sound, or if you're like, oh, that doesn't sound the same. Okay, how do I go back square one, and try and replicate the same thing. So I hope that helps. But that's essentially what I do, in terms of, there's a lot of stuff and a lot of people I copy. I look for people that are good at the thing that I want to do, and I literally go and see, how can I copy that. Some of it, when I copy it, it'll still be me. So if I copy Ed Sheeran, I'm never going to sound exactly like Ed Sheeran, but I can learn his skills and his technique. And then it's like I have this toolbox of going, oh, okay, I've learned a bunch of Tommy Emmanuel stuff, so I have a certain toolbox, a certain skill set. I've copied a bunch of Ed Sheeran's live looping, so I have a certain toolbox, a certain set of skills that I can apply. Now I have two different things. I've done a bunch of vocal work, so okay, cool. I've got this set of vocal tools that I can use, and basically all along the way, you're building up and understanding your set of skills that you bring to the table, and they're unique. They're not the same as anyone else's. Even if you look at my channel, it's a combination of things that I enjoy. Live looping, some acoustic performances, some videos about tech and gear and explaining things, which is how we got onto the Zoom live track L8, and then I like editing and film, so trying to create, how do I create videos that incorporate all of that are interesting and watchable, rather than just me sitting here going, okay, so this does this, and it's like, yeah, thanks, that was rude. So how do we get onto that? It's a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, King, I mean, I hope that's some useful advice, or not really advice, but just some ideas that you can try and see what you learn and gain from it. Do you have any plans on getting your channel to grow faster? Because I wish you were more famous, the world could enjoy you. Thank you so much. I'm actually just diving back into creating some content and doing some videos, so it's good timing for your message, because I'm literally just diving into actually creating again. And some of you know, especially the last year especially, I've really done this with the YouTube channel. Some of that was we were on tour, and I had these great ambitions that while we were on tour I was going to film a lot of stuff and still edit, and it was going to be amazing. The reality was I was just exhausted from the tour. Did not take or have the capacity personally to be creating videos. And then New Zealand went through a bunch of lockdowns and things like that, and to be honest, for a bunch of that I went through some motivation and I'm going to do a bunch of stuff, to a bunch of times where I just didn't want to create anything. I had no shows to look forward to. Everything got cancelled. I was going to say, I'm not sure I got depressed. Maybe I did. Don't know the answer, but I just, there wasn't, for me, it was just, I was unsettled, let's put it that way, and not sure quite what I wanted to be doing. So, and I didn't create a bunch of content. So, yeah, it feels nice to be in a good space now, and chatting, doing these again, creating, practicing, learning a whole bunch, and doing some shows live again, and some shows on Twitch as well, which has kind of grown out of that whole lockdown stuff for me. So yeah, so I look forward to sharing a bunch more stuff, and as always, a bunch of the content comes out of some of these chats, from your suggestions and ideas. So if there's something you'd like to see on the channel, let me know, and maybe that will become a video. But yeah, King, you're most welcome. Oh, hang on, I have to test out my Japanese again. Hajimemashite kayobi? Kayobi? I think kayobi is good. Kayobi. I think that's good. Testing out my my Japanese skills. So I'm just happy it's in hiragana and not kanji. So anyway, if you've got any burning questions, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up for this evening. And thanks for hanging out. But yeah, let me know. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so if there are any questions, you'll have to type fast. Otherwise, yeah, there'll be some videos happening on the channel this week. I will be back next week, same time on a Tuesday, doing an Ask Me Anything session. Do you play ukulele? No, not really. I fiddle around a little bit, but basically no. It's crossed my mind because it's a really nice complementary sound with the guitar, especially to include in looping. But at this point, no. Alright, thanks everybody. We're going to wrap up, and we'll see you with some videos during the week. Otherwise, we'll see you next Tuesday with a little session. Whatever it might be on. But also, just going back to the very start of this video, curious, comment below what it is that you love most about music. It might be performing, it might be recording, it might be just sitting at home. We'll talk a little bit about it over the coming weeks, I think. So thanks everyone, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you all, and have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever it is in the world that you are. Thanks for tuning in.